What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Wednesday. Y'all know what that means. That means we're going to be here to talk about Secret Invasion episode 5. Y'all, we are almost there. We are almost there. What is going on? How are y'all doing tonight? In case you are new here for whatever reason, my name is Emmanuel Noisette. I am your host. We are going to talk about episode 5, break it down, react to it. We're not going to do some crazy deep dive on every single Easter egg or nothing. We just going to talk about it. You know, whether you liked it, maybe you didn't like it, maybe some things that you caught that you like, whatever. But that's all we're doing here today. So if you have not watched episode 5 yet, I don't know what you're doing here unless you just don't care about spoilers. And if that is the case, welcome. But shout out to everybody that's watching tonight. And for those of you that are watching on the replay, you know how we do. I got to give a couple quick shout outs to all the folks that have been here early on. We got my man Dexter Reason. What is going on, sir? Good to see you. Shout out to the homie Mod Squad in the building, Rim 17. You guys know the deal. Get those likes up. We got Stephanie Garnett. Hello, ma'am. Always a pleasure to see you as well. Love to see the back-to-back Mod Squad. We got Kristen Pratt early in here. Love to see you. Thank y'all so much for holding it down. Kimmy J is here. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. Space Dinosaur, good to see you as well. Thank you so much for joining. Pamela, what is up? How are you? Let's see. We got the homie Rhonda here tonight. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Let's see. My man Nelson is here. What is going on? For real. What is up? How are you? Who else we got? Kid Mello, what's up? My man Paul, how are you? Let's see. We got the homie Zia Latrice is here. Hello, hello. Let's see. Then we got Intergalactic Space Captain. Come through, come through. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, you got your Lila Spider-Verse cosplay. Okay, nice. I'm glad you got a chance to wear that during the movie. Good stuff. Let's see who else we got. Treese, what is up? We got another Mod Squad in the building with SJ Evans. How you doing, ma'am? Good to see you. We got the homie come through, Christy. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see, Corey, what's going on, brother? Good to see you again. Let's see who else we got. I saw Tasha's here. What is up? AJ, how you doing? Tyra's here. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. Let's see, coming through. We got more Mod Squad with Alib. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. Thank you so much for holding it down. We got CJ back in the building. Good to see you. Ali, what is up? How are you? Phil Roy, good to see you. All the way. Love it when London is calling. What is going on, brother? Thank you so much for being here. Stamina. TJ, I see you. Terrence, my man, what's going on, sir? Good to see you. The Ninja, always a pleasure. My man Mike is here. Thank you so much for being here. Callie, I see you too. Who else we got? Let's see. Ian, what's up? TT, good to see you. My man Lou, Sean, Coco, shout out, and Darius. Shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. Really appreciate y'all for real. All right, y'all. So we have got to talk about this episode and the stuff that went down. This was definitely a transitional episode. I will say that. Like, I feel like this is getting us warmed up for a lot of things that are about to happen because the last episode is coming. Wait a minute. Did we miss? Hold on, we almost missed something. I'm sorry. We probably couldn't even have started. I don't know how this was gonna happen. What's going on, Ms. Harper? Thank you so much for being here. Okay, now we can start. All right, let's get going with where this episode kicked off. And we see here that the president is being rushed to the hospital. And by the way, how y'all only got 3 people? Like, where? Like, did they close off all the staff? Were they doing layoffs or something? The fact that y'all only got 3 people here, like, who's the doctor here? I don't know, but okay, I guess. But you see here, Nick Fury was whispering to the president to let him know, like, yo, don't trust Scrody. Okay, don't trust Scrody. Now whether the president heard him or not, we don't really know. But as he's being rushed, we do see here on the news footage from the whole incident where Talos is being helped. Obviously, that was Gravik, but the main news here is that the world is starting to know that Skrulls are here. Now, the real question here is like, yo, how is the public going to react to this? Because it's not like aliens are new for this MCU world. Like, they do know that aliens exist. Obviously, they've been through the Avengers. They've seen, Thor. They've seen, Thanos and the whole attack. So aliens are not new, but it's got to be a question now, and a pressing one at that. What the hell kind of alien is this? And what is going on? But clearly this is not good news, at least not yet. And you see Nick Fury posted up here, because he's got to figure out what the hell is going on. He don't know who to trust at this point. His boy Talos is gone already, so clearly that is definitely weighing on his mind as well, and it's just not a good look. Then we go over to Gravik and his holdout, and we see Gravik is basically getting the troops together. But you got people like Beta over here who's kind of looking a little iffy. Like, he don't really know, if this is really all for him, if this is the right move or not, and it's just not really what he signed up for. At least it doesn't seem like it. And then you got some of the Skrulls that are starting to question Gravik, and they're asking him like, yo, why are you keeping Fury alive? Vara, who is Priscilla, or aka Fury's wife, they knew that she wasn't gonna kill her husband, Nick Fury. They knew that she was compromised already. And while they were on the field, Gravik didn't give any orders to kill Fury. He did give a order to kill Talos, but not Fury. So the question now is like, well, why? And basically Gravik was like, yo, because I want that harvest. He still needs Nick Fury alive, but the Skrulls in this case, they don't really understand why. And I think that's kind of on Gravik right now. Like, as a leader, I understand that you might not want to give all the information away, but you at least want to have people understand what you're fighting for or why you're doing what you're doing, at least to some degree. Because if they're just sitting here being, confused, and they don't really know where you're going, I mean, it's kind of natural that like they're gonna question. I mean, imagine if you riding in a car and somebody driving and they take two suspect left turns. You're gonna sit here and be like, yo, where are we going? Where you going? What are you doing? Like, you might not want to be in that car no more, because that ain't y'all going down a different path, and you want to know, is the destination still the same or not? And Gravik over here not telling them nothing. And well, listen, he also was like, look, I don't want no back talk. Okay. And he went full Groot and killed that Skrull. And again, this is another vast departure from, or I guess it's better yet. Better yet, this is a clearer difference between leadership of Gravik style versus Talos. We saw earlier that Talos did not want to kill other Skrulls at all. If anything, keep in mind, the eyes on the prize is getting everyone at home, letting people just have a place to live. So the last thing you want to do is actually kill, other Skrulls. Like, that's not what they want to do. And when Talos did have to kill another Skrull, that really hurt him. But you see here, Gravik don't care. Okay, he doesn't care at all, and he's willing to just go that route and let them know. But I thought the other telling thing here was when he actually talked to them and he was like, look, y'all are nameless and you are faceless. Ouch. For a Skrull, that hurts, because it's already the fact that, they can shapeshift, right? But keep in mind, that shape-shifting ability is something that they've had to do as a means of survival. It's not something that they do for fun. If it were up to the Skrulls, they would stay looking however they look and they own green skin. But they have to do that, and it's been like a war tactic for them to like infiltrate and do espionage, but it's always been a survival thing for them more so than anything else. So for him to sit here and say that y'all are nameless and faceless, I mean, that's a low blow for a Skrull. That's like saying that you don't have an identity. You aren't anything. You, whatever skin it is, you are nothing. So like that was definitely a low blow for Gravik to throw at him, and it's a real slap in the face for Skrulls. But we also get here in this case with Gravik, like his real villain turn. Now, earlier we saw him blowing up people and doing all this bad stuff, but that was really for the greater cause, which was to get his people home, right? So even though he seemed like a villain to us human beings, he was still like a hero to the Skrulls, because he was like, yo, I might have to kill a couple humans, but yo, you got to break a couple eggs to make an omelet, right? But rather than being just the anti-hero, he's gone full villain in this case. And this really reminds me of like Killmonger in Black Panther, because at first you could kind of understand their motives, right? But then they both started to do something very hypocritical just to make sure you guys, the audience, knows that he is the bad guy. Just like with Killmonger when he started killing black people, even though his whole agenda, his whole message was black liberation. How do you make that work? How are you going to be about black liberation, but you killing other black folks? And this is the same thing with Gravik. How are you over here talking about you want to be, you know, the liberator of the Skrulls and you want to find them a home, but you're killing Skrulls at the same time? So this kind of goes into that overall theme of like how the end still justifies the means. So I guess my question for you guys is like, were you okay with this whole twist or this reveal with Gravik? Because I know sometimes people feel like, you know, this was kind of cheap, where like the MCU does this all the time. Like what was it? Carly and them in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where you know, like at first it seems like they're fighting for something good, but then all of a sudden they just do something so evil that you just like, all right, man, I can't even get on your side no more. So I'm wondering, does this kind of like feel cheap, or does it just go into building up Gravik as a villain? I mean, at this point, Gravik is just like, yo, I don't care. You know, like I'm just here to do what I want to do. And it maybe it works towards his ultimate goal, but in my opinion, I think it still kind of makes him hypocritical. You know, like if you sitting here scaring people and killing folks, your own people, I don't know, but y'all let me know how you think about it. Maybe it works for y'all, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Anywho, we go ahead, and you know, now Gravik sends out the call to for Fury's wife's death. For Vara, he wants her to just be killed because she's a traitor. You know, she's a traitor in his eyes at this point. He calls Scrody and says that the Skrulls and Russians are working together and to push this idea to the Americans so that way they can go to war. And this unfortunately means that some Skrulls are going to die. But this kind of goes into Gravik's plan. He knows that Fury is not going to be cool with dead Skrulls. So this is going to be yet another way to hopefully draw Fury out, you know, so he can get that harvest thing from him. However, you know, like Scrody kind of feared, this also could mean very big consequences for all the Skrulls. And you could kind of see his face, like he's kind of concerned about this. And Gravik is like, man, whatever, you know, this is just gonna be one big sacrifice. But I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this is easy for Gravik to say. You the one that got the extremis in you. Like, does anybody else have extremis? Do all the other Skrulls? I don't think any of the other Skrulls have like any of the abilities. I think right now, outside of Gaia, I think it's only you know, Gravik that's got the Groot abilities and the extremis abilities. Because I'm like, bro, if they bomb the refuge, the place where all y'all Skrulls are at, and you sitting here talking about sacrifice, it ain't gonna be yours, because you're just gonna be able to heal right up. They just gonna be dead. What are you doing? Like, I'm really confused. What are you doing? I thought the whole goal was to have the Skrulls have a home, unless you're just saying a home for the other Skrulls that are elsewhere, but not the ones that are here that were fighting with you, that have been with you and following you. I don't know. Maybe this is bad writing. I don't know. Or maybe Gravik is that jacked up. Can't really tell. But this is definitely Gravik going full villain in this case. But we do see here Scrody is coming into the hospital. I thought this was actually kind of funny. How the nurse was just like, "Oh yeah, the president, yeah, he down the hall. Yep, go down there, 2 halls down, 2 doors down on the left. Yeah, he right there." And she was like, "Man," he was like, "Yo, get rid of her. Lock this place down." Then out of nowhere, Fury comes right in here to basically confront Scrody. But Scrody ends up telling Fury that, like, "Yo, that video about you killing Maria Hill, yeah, that's about to get leaked like right now. We already called TMZ. It's going down. So whatever you think you about to do right now, you got bigger problems on your hands." And when I tell y'all, I did not realize how hard I laughed when he gave him this little pistol whip. Oh my God. Why did he do that? I feel like that was improv because it didn't even look like a real pistol whip. He was just like annoyed. It was just like, ugh. He didn't have to pistol whip him like that. I'm glad he did, but that was just too funny to me that Rhody got pistol whipped like that. But of course, Rhodey's like, yeah, I got the last laugh, and I'm gonna get you, sucker, blah blah blah. But I mean, there's no coming back when you get pistol whipped in the face like that. I mean, that's a wrap for you right there, buddy. But I ain't mad at it. I am not mad at it at all. Let me grab these 2 comments here. Yolanda loved Vara's talk with Gaia. I did too. I can't wait. We about to get into that just in a little bit, but I'm with you on that. I see, like, so one thing I will say about this show is that the writing is actually pretty good when it comes to the dialogue. The dialogue is not bad, in this case. Now, there were some things I've said I didn't like the whole Rhodey reveal or whatever, but I mean, the conversation with Nick and and Rhodey, in the store or whatever, in the restaurant, the conversations that Nick is having with his wife, like, yo, this has got like some good dialogue and little moments sprinkled throughout the whole show. So I'm with you on that. And I can't wait till we talk about it. Talented One, while it was cheap writing wise, I'm tired of Marvel trying to make me relate to the bad guy. I'm glad they put him solely in the villain category. So here's my thing with that. I don't mind if Marvel makes somebody a straight up villain or if you make them an anti-villain. I just don't like the switch up. That's the part that I don't personally care for. I'm trying to think of like a character who, well, no, I changed my mind. I will flip that because when it comes to what's his name? Zemo. Zemo, I thought, came in as a straight up villain, and then towards the end, we found out why he was doing what he was doing. I was like, well, I can understand, So that kind of reveal I was okay with. But like even with Killmonger, I didn't like that. I was like, look, if you're gonna make him a pro black liberating black libertarian, whatever, if you're gonna have him be all about liberation for black folk, keep that same energy, because that way we can juggle him and T'Challa and really get that whole ideological battle rather than making it just completely black and white, no pun intended. But I'm trying to think of like what other villain came with straight, with just straight up villainy. I think and this is one of my personal favorites. It might be Purple Man from Jessica Jones. Purple Man was a villain 100% all day. Didn't quit. Nobody cared about his backstory. Didn't nobody care about what happened to him when he was a kid, whatever. Bro was a straight villain 110%, and I love that. That was all I needed to see, and I was cool with it. But anyway, I'm with you on that. So thank you so much for that, Talented One. What else we got? Nelson V. Will we find out where Scrody's holding Rhody at? I'm assuming we will, at least at the end of this. Ain't no way you about to just let Scrody run around the MCU like this with all that clearance. So I'm pretty sure at some point, maybe he's at the refuge place or, where the other Skrulls are at. Or maybe he's somewhere else, a little more high level. When this whole series is done, I'm actually gonna go through. I'm thinking about it, so don't hold me to this. but I'm thinking about doing a theory video about when at least when Rhodey was most likely turned into a Skrull, or when they actually captured him. Because I think this show gave us a couple of clues as to when that was. I think some people were kind of jumping the gun and just saying like, oh, well, it must have been when, the Terrence Howard thing or whatever. But I want to wait until the very last episode, just in case there's one more clue. But I think so far we do have a good time frame as to exactly when. And I think that I can, given the clues that we got in this show, I think I can explain a couple things that people missed during all these years that Rhodey has been a Skrull too. Some things that might not make sense for some people, but some things that'll actually make more sense. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Nelson. I do think we'll get that sometime soon. Alib, can we talk about how Sonya is a whole G? Absolutely. Once we get to that point, yes, we will definitely talk about it, because I love Sonya. Sonya is like one of my favorite characters right now. So yes, indeed, we will get there. Thank you so much. DJ, what you got? Who was he talking to on the phone at the end of the episode? Think that might be Maria Hill. That's my guess. Look, once we get down to that point in the story, then we will definitely talk about it. But thank you so much for it. Y'all be jumping ahead. Y'all know we gonna go through the episode, right? Like, we'll get there, but thank you so much, DJ. Mike, what's going on? Scrody, we have talked about where Rhodey is. Have we talked about where Rhodey is? No, we haven't talked about where he is, because we don't really know. He might be at the refugee compound, but he might not. We don't know, because at this point, we don't know where he's been or how long he's been gone, at least not exactly. So we'll get there, hopefully. I mean, I'll be very disappointed if we have no idea, and if they just let Rhodey keep going and do, or Vara, I think, no, Rava. Rava is the name of the Skrull that's taken over Rhodey. So I'd be very disappointed if we just left this whole episode and didn't cover that at least. All right, so where do we leave off? Okay, so now we got to go to London. Let's see. Now we go to the SIS boss. And, as we see here on the news, we see that the Nick Fury video has already leaked. But not only that, you also see here that that Talos was recorded. But look at the headline. It says suspected alien involvement in ambush of U.S. presidential convoy. Now, the reason why this is important, like I said before, it depends on how the public is going to react to the whole thing with transforming aliens at this point. So now I think what this ends up doing is it creates the opportunity for the news cycle to get twisted. Don't forget that one of the Skrulls that were on the council, he's kind of like a cable news anchor as well. So like, don't be surprised if this Skrull ends up twisting this story, or doing whatever to sow discord, or to sow distrust, or to spread misinformation or disinformation along the way. But this could be a way to like basically create fear amongst people, that the Skrulls, or these green aliens that can transform, are actually big, bad, and scary. Which would also go against everything that Talos was really working towards. But we got to get to our girl Sonya. She came through, and quickly, without even hesitation, she was about that business, and she exposed her boss for being a Skrull and popped him one right there in the hand and the leg. Because don't forget, she remembered that when she was doing her Skrull torturing, in the earlier episodes, the location got compromised, but there was only one person she told about it, which was her boss. So obviously that made it very evident that he was clearly either a Skrull or working with the Skrulls. And she's got the test. Okay, she's got the easy test. And listen, it was so effective, they didn't even say nothing to it. It was like, oh, word, yep, that's a Skrull. Yep, look at that. Yep, definitely a Skrull. Now, listen, I want y'all to look at this right quick, because I'm gonna call BS on this. And I'm you know what? No, I just want y'all to remember this. She shot him. You got red blood. Just remember this, because we talked about this before. Gravik, when he got stabbed, red blood. This dude, when he got shot, red blood. But you do see here that at the very least, he's starting to transform. Now, I'm a little iffy about the whole consistency on what it means to be a Skrull and how to detect them. Because I was under the impression that, like, yeah, you could wound them or whatever, but unless it was like a fatal wound, unless it was a wound that was really compromising them, they could at least maintain their form. But apparently, any wound potentially can do that to them. So I guess now we have the litmus test on how to figure out whether somebody is a Skrull. And this does kind of go right back to the comics, because Sonya is basically doing what Black Widow did in the comics, which was she just shot people. She was like, yo, we just shoot them or we cut them. If they bleed green, they a Skrull. If they bleed red, they a human. Oh, well, that's it. So that was the way that they did in the comics, and it looks like it's working here as well. But we see here Beto and the others are, kind of just feeling some type of way with Gravik. You see here, my man is actually drinking a little bit more espresso this time, not as much sugar. But he does go ahead and put the call in to Scrody to go ahead and relay all of that stuff to the president. And while he's on the phone, yo, it's on and popping. We got the Skrull coup. And they are doing their coup right now. They are choking him. But you know what? Gravik was not about that. He said he about to get ripped out the plastic because all of y'all acting brand new. And boom, he took care of business. And he had his whole training day montage like, yo, King Kong ain't got nothing on this Skrull. Okay? None of y'all. Ain't nobody gonna step. And as he does his full villain reveal, he has to go even more extreme. And we see here that even Beto is gone. He had to like execute him in front of everybody. So this was definitely, if there were any if, ands, or about it, like if anybody was wondering if Gravik is got a sense of a code, if he's got any sense of like, I guess, I don't know, integrity or something, it's out the window. My man killed every single Skrull. He killed Skrulls that like questioned him. He killed Skrulls that like attacked him. And he made sure to instill that fear amongst everybody else. He's lost it. At this point, this man has completely lost it. And again, we're going to those extremes, and this is just what it is. Anyway, so we move forward and we see Fury going back to the same place where he was hiding out with the Skrulls back in the day. And if you noticed here, he has clearly some sort of trap or something on the door to know if somebody has opened the door. So in case you were wondering what he was looking at, I think that piece of tape or whatever it was, that just gave him the indication that somebody was there. But of course, we see that it is Gaia that is there, waiting for him. And Fury had said that basically, like, yo, because Gaia was feeling some type of way, said that her father lost, and Fury was like, nah, Talos chose the path of struggle. He didn't actually lose. And I really like that line because it's interesting when you have someone who's fighting for a cause and they die. A lot of times people might think, well, that person died for nothing. Well, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but it all depends on the perspective. So I'm glad that, Fury is not letting Talos's death just kind of, be for nothing. I'm glad that he's not letting his death mean nothing. He's like, yo, your dad died to the very end fighting for what he believed in, and that is very commendable. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Talos, for that. And especially with Gaia, who's very strong-minded in this case. She's really idealistic in this case. So I'm glad that, Fury's trying to really protect that image of her father and not letting her own, cynicism kind of get the best of her. But she did say that Gravik took the Cull Obsidian and the group powers, and said that he was looking for the harvest. And of course, Fury's like, oh man, not the Harvest. So he knows more about it, obviously. But she's like, yo, I need to go bury my dad, and once the 5-0 start, making their sounds, Fury's like, well, time to go. I gotta bounce. And he said he was going off to Finland. And for anybody that was wondering why he was leaving just because of the police, don't forget the video is out there, and he is now a wanted man. So, everybody is looking for him at this point, especially when they believe that Maria Hill was, the victim of his murder, of the murder. Moving on, we got Sonya again, the MVP of this episode. And I loved how she was, just like, hello, Skrulls. Like, Sonya, I love how nonchalant she is about everything. She don't nothing phase her. Nothing like really gets her. I mean, she does get surprised here and there, but I just love how she was like, "Oh, hello, Skrulls!" Like, pip pip cheerio. You're like, she was just like, "What up? How y'all doing?" Oh man, but she told him to tell her everything. Okay, she was like, "Look, ain't nobody playing with you. What's going on, Nigel?" And dude was like, I ain't Nigel. She was like, nah, that's Nigel, dude right behind you. Okay, so what y'all finna do is tell us all the plans. Don't miss no decimals. Don't miss no dot every I, every T. Do all of that. Okay, because y'all gonna tell us about this whole Super Skrull machine. And of course, she is super, super thorough. And by the way, now that we know that her boss was a Skrull, she is now the new head of SIS. And then, of course, we saw that, this Skrull was like, trying to hold the other one hostage, and I think both of them are Skrulls, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it doesn't really matter. Because once again, she is so unfazed. Look at it. Look how unbothered she is in this hostage situation. She like, you ain't finna do nothing. And guess what? Pow! Pew pew pow. Now here's my problem. Look at her. Look at the doctor right here. What is this on her face? What is it? What is she covered in? Why is there purple blood now? Listen, I'm starting to call plot hole. Did we not just see earlier that when you shoot a Skrull, their blood is still red? Did we not see that? Even when Gravik got stabbed, the blood is still red. Now, all of a sudden, the blood is purple. Marvel, I need y'all to make some sense. I'm fine if when they bleed is purple. I'm just saying it feels a little inconsistent right now. It feels like a plot hole right now. Okay? I'm just saying, like, make up your mind. If the Skrulls get wounded, is it blood? Is it red blood or is it purple? I don't know. Okay, whatever. I don't know. Whatever. I'm maybe when they're dead, it just stays purple. Maybe because it's an instant kill. Whatever. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Anyway, we see here Gaia. She is obviously feeling some type of way about her father. And she does have to bury him. She does go to Priscilla's home to meet her. And of course, this is like not the best situation because they both are very suspicious of each other. But we move on to the hospital, and Scrody ends up meeting the president and starts talking about how, basically, the Skrulls are working with the Russians and England is also behind them. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe one of the Skrulls that were on the council is the English prime minister. So, they're all in on this same plot, working together. But the president over here, he was just kind of going along with everything Scrody was saying. Now, I don't know if the president actually is going along with this. Maybe he actually believes Scrody right now. I don't know, because it seems like, at least right now, that the president completely ignored all of the sweet nothings that Fury whispered in his ear. So I'm not really, I'm not really sure what is going on, but At least right now, it seems like, he actually believes him. Then we go ahead, we see Fury is speaking to Gravik to arrange a meetup to give him the harvest and all of that. And then, as Fury ends up traveling, we end up seeing Mason again. So shout out to Mason. He was in Black Widow, in case y'all forgot. He was the supplier. And he was also put in the friend zone by Natasha as well. So my man just stays not winning. But we do go back and we see Priscilla and Gaia. They are prepping Talos for the funeral. Gaia doesn't know the whole ritual or like the prayers that go along with it. But thankfully, Priscilla is there and she does know it. And I love the fact that we were able to get something cultural, something unique for the Skrulls. Like how they need an offering, when somebody dies. And, I can kind of see how Gaia would feel kind of bad during this time because she didn't really grow up on her home world like that. So, I feel like she's feeling like she's losing a connection to her roots. So you can kind of see why she was so, on Team Gravik, because Gravik was like, yo, I'm trying to bring home back. I'm trying to give us another home. And she misses that. She longs for that connection because she doesn't want to forget, where she came from. And then, of course, as earlier brought up, we see this wonderful conversation between Priscilla and Gaia. And Priscilla was like, yo, like, I'm willing to wait for these assassins to come my way, because this house right here, yo, it is safe, it's secure. And if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die right here. Like I feel comfortable. And Gaia over here, she tried it. Okay. I don't know if y'all recall, she tried it by asking her if Fury was cool with Priscilla not being in her own skin. And the last thing you gonna do, I don't even care if she transformed into a black woman. The last thing you gonna do is pry into somebody's business like that. And Priscilla properly checked her. Okay. And you know what? She was right. That was none of Gaia's business. And I'm glad she checked her because even though this is a callback to Fury channeling his inner Kanye West energy that we saw in the last episode, this speaks to yet another issue for being a Skrull. And just think about how complicated this is for them. They are a species that makes it a habit to adapt to whatever planet that they're inhabiting, right? And so, like, having interspecies relationships probably is something that they deal with. And, I'm not going to say it's the same thing because it's not, but I think it's kind of similar to like interracial dating, right? And it kind of makes me think of like how even if you're interracially dating, you might still have cultural differences that y'all deal with. Maybe there are things that you give up with, I don't know, your religion, or certain things that you compromise within your culture, whatever it is. At the end of the day, whatever's going on, that's between the people in the relationship. And that ain't nobody else's business at all. So I'm glad that, Vara ended up checking Gaia real fast. And she was like, nah, you did try it. You were trying to be offensive. And I had to check you real fast, and proper like. So I like that they had that moment right there. I thought that was very, very necessary. And just a good way, again, to just kind of speak to the cultural differences that the Skrulls face and that they go through. But of course, that moment got interrupted because, we got the assassins. They coming in finally. But look, after some decent, I like the action scenes during this moment too. But during this moment, of course, like she said, she was ready. Okay. Vara was already set. She had the weapons already stashed everywhere. And the two of them came together, took out all the little assassins or whatever. And that was it. They made light work of them real fast and in a hurry. And I love the fact that we got that moment because it shows you that Vara is about that business. Okay. She ain't playing with nobody, and she was ready to go down if that was the case. So shout out to her. thought that was a nice little moment. Let's get this comment from Low Key. Thank you so much, Low Key. Appreciate your support all the time. I think the president is believing Fury because Rhodey was missing when he should have been the one protecting the president. Where were you, Rhodey? It's a very good question. It's a good question. I wonder if the president is putting two and two together to even ask that, because keep in mind, the president was unconscious during this time. So, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that's a very, very good point. Thank you so much for that, Low Key. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep going here. Okay. So now we going. We see my man Franz. I don't know what name he gave him. But of course, this is Nick Fury, and apparently my man got that global entry, to get into the country. And we find out here, of course, that he was using one of the masks that we've seen in Agents of Shield. We've seen this in Winter Soldier. We've seen these masks be used in Black Widow as well. And it was kind of funny, that she, Sonya was all like, yo, like what happened to the ones that cover your whole body? And I was wondering if she meant the LMDs, but he was like, yo, this is the old model, So now I'm wondering, like, yo, who else is walking around the MCU with one of these Black Widow's shield type masks? Because why aren't y'all using that with the Skrulls? Like, I'm just saying, like, why, wouldn't you have somebody maybe go under deep cover? Oh, you know what? Maybe they do. Maybe they do have somebody under deep cover with the full body mask. So maybe this will be a payoff later. So let's just keep this in mind for now. But yo, shout out to Sonya. Again, she is the new head of SIS. But Fury ends up telling her that Rhodey is a Skrull. And because she didn't know that, she did have to end up working with Rhodey for the most part. But he also ends up telling her about Gravik's plan. And he also tells her about Harvest and how there were some Skrulls that were also involved in collecting a lot of the Avengers' blood during the battle in Endgame. Now, one thing that definitely stood out during this explanation, he was like, yo, all that blood and stuff that was falling and all that stuff, among all of them was Captain Marvel's blood. The last thing you want is a Skrull with Captain Marvel's blood. And I've told y'all this before, that Captain Marvel in the MCU is OP, overpowered. She is way too powerful, and don't y'all can miss me with all the, you just don't like a strong woman. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying the fact that she's so powerful that she has like no weaknesses. And I don't care what kind of superhero it is, if you don't have weaknesses, that's kind of boring. And you kind of go into the Superman problem. Back in the day, Superman was so stupidly powerful, they had to come up with kryptonite, because it was like, that's not interesting. It's not interesting to fight a superhero that ain't got no weaknesses, So yeah, Rogue need to come on through very fast. But at this point, if you do give a Skrull Captain Marvel's powers, there's no stopping them. Like, it's bad enough that they got Extremis. That's bad in itself. But to give him Captain Marvel's powers, everybody's just gonna die. It's over with at that point. So now I really do understand why Fury is like, yo, I gotta come fix this, because he was the one that was collecting all their samples and stuff, probably destroying them at the same time. And let's not forget, they were doing stuff like this way before Nick Fury too. Keep in mind, even with Captain America, they were collecting his blood. And that's the reason why we got the Hulk. The Hulk is a byproduct of the whole weapon, Weapon X, Wolverine also. That's all the government trying to replicate the whole super soldier serum thing. So Fury it was kind of interesting that he was like, yo, this is the reason why I came back to Earth. I came back because this was my mess. I had to come back and clean it up. And, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, so if Gravik hadn't gone rogue and stuff, you was going to stay up in Earth, like in that space station even longer? Wow. Like, you just forget your wife, huh? All right, I guess. But we end up seeing him going to his grave, which is like, I guess, another grave that he has. And apparently he's got a lot of them all over the place. But while he was here, he also did admit that he had this grave here because him and his wife used to honeymoon here, and that Skrulls like it cold. So, he basically goes ahead and admits to her, to Sonya, that like, yeah, I'm also married to the Skrulls, and I like the green cheeks. Like, look, that's just how I like green cheeks. Okay, sue me. So, he gives a little confession. I don't think she's gonna judge him too hard on that. But we also see here that at his grave site, this is where he's kept the harvest. Now, this is the part where I'm a little confused because this looks like just one vial, and I could have sworn that this was like a bunch of different Avengers DNA, but it seems like this is just one. So I don't know whose thing this is or not, whose blood or whose DNA this is, but he did say that his plan was to give the harvest to Gravik. And Sonya is like, why would you do that? Now, here's one thing I was thinking. Now, I haven't thought completely about this, so y'all tell me what you think about this idea. But I'm wondering if he's planning on giving Gravik the harvest, but we don't know exactly whose DNA he's going to give. So I'm wondering, is there or was there an Avenger or somebody that was on the battlefield that probably has more of a weakness? Is there someone that has a huge weakness that he's going to give that vial to Gravik to? Like, think of it like this. Imagine if we were in DC and somebody was looking for Superman's blood, and they were like, oh, okay, no problem. We're going to give you Superman's blood, but we have red light or red sun, and we have kryptonite, so now we can defeat you. So I'm wondering if that is the case, if they're trying to make, like, maybe they're going to give him Rocket Raccoon's blood, right? If they gave him Rocket's blood and turned Gravik into like some little raccoon or something, maybe it was Howard the Duck and just turned him into a powerless duck. I don't know. But y'all let me know what you think. Oh my God, you guys are going crazy in the comments. Kale cheeks in the galactic green cheeks. That's what y'all on right now. See, I can't do it. I cannot do this with y'all. This is it. Let's see, DJ, what you got? If Captain Kirk can have interspecies relations, then let Fury do his thing. I'm not judging. I am not judging. My man can go smash all the intergalactic cheeks he could get. I don't care. That's fine. Okay, well, I'll give y'all this question if you want. Do y'all think at the end, do y'all think he will actually be cool with, being with her while she's like in her own skin? I already told y'all I couldn't do it. Okay, we're not gonna rehash that. I seen them teeth. Ain't no way. And I don't think, listen, ain't no amount of cocoa butter or shea butter gonna fix them green wrinkles. They not like old wrinkles. Have y'all seen the Skrull faces? Some of them faces be hard. Okay, they be having some hard faces. Ain't no exfoliation gonna help that. So I'm sorry, I'm good. I'm good on that. But I don't know. And listen, I don't know. Maybe Fury don't care. Okay, if he want to cut up lip or something, that's on him. Some people get into that kinky stuff. Not me, but okay, but whatever. Anywho, let's finish it off. So my man goes ahead. He's got the harvest or whatnot. And of course he goes into this grave site and activates this these like corridors, these whatever, the burial openings or whatever. And I thought it was a real waste. Why you got these whole containers and you put one little eye patch in there? What is so important about that one little eye patch? And that's where you put your jacket? And then that's where you put your gun? Why did you waste 3 whole spaces when all of that stuff literally could have fit in the same locker? Am I tripping? Like, all of this stuff could have. This bothered me. I don't know why, but like, I don't know why you got a whole little area for one little eye patch, bro. You could have put that in the pocket of your trench coat. Okay. Anyway, then of course we see here that he does get a phone call at the end. And he ends up saying, let's finish this. And the big question, of course, is who was on the actual phone. And, I do agree. Earlier, I think it was DJ Payne that said it. I do think that was Maria Hill on the other line. Her death was a little too quick and convenient. I've already told y'all that I kind of wish that she stayed dead. Just because, just like with Talos, when you keep the deaths real, like they mean more, I think, for the characters. But I can also see it's perfectly within, reason, I guess, that they would fake Maria Hill's death. I mean, think about it like this. Like, Maria Hill is another Nick Fury, and in the comics she does become like the next Nick Fury in a sense. Like, she does take over for him. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't we see her in the Marvels as well? Oh my god. So I swear, if Marvel spoiled its own reveal with its advertising and trailers, throw y'all marketing away. Just throw it away. Y'all already showed Nick Fury was in the Marvels, and I believe y'all also showed Maria Hill was also in there. Now, maybe there were Skrulls, but at the same time, I don't think so. But I wonder, and if this is the payoff I was talking about, I wonder if, remember when Sonya was talking about like the mask and like, oh, what about the full body one? I wonder if maybe Maria Hill has had that full body mask. Like, maybe she has that new version where she's been able to be someone else all this time. Maybe she has infiltrated the Skrulls already and we just didn't know it. I don't know. But y'all let me know what you think. But that was the end of this episode. Let me see. I think is there a comment? Oh, okay, no. But yeah, that was it for this episode. So this is the point where I need y'all to let me know, how did you rate episode 5 on a scale from 1 to 10? While y'all answer that, let me think. I don't think there was anything mind-blowing in this episode. I loved Sonya, loved her in this episode. And like I said, I felt like this episode was a lot more setup. I felt like it was more like whatever y'all about to give us in 6, y'all probably could have just put these 2 episodes together and then give us something else. Like, I don't know. A little action scene with Priscilla and Amelia and Gaia. But this just didn't blow me away. Like, I wasn't no big reveals. I'm gonna give it a 7. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 7. I think I'm cool with a 7. Not bad, not great, but potential setup for the next one. But anyway, let's see where the people are landing with this though. Let's see. What are we giving it? We're giving it a 9, a 7, okay, 8.5, 8, 10, 9, 9, okay. 8.5, 7, 8, 8.5, okay, 8, 8, all right. 8, 9, 9.5. Okay, so y'all feeling it more than me. Cool. Okay. 9.8. Wow. Okay. 7, 6.5, 7.5, 7.5, 8, 7, 8.5, 9, 7, 7.5, 7, 7, 7. Damn, Paul, a 3. Okay, y'all, man. Okay, 7.5, 8, 7, 0.8, 7. Okay, okay, 6.5, 8.5, 8.5, 6, 8, 8. Okay, all right, cool. So I think it's safe to say that we genuinely liked the episode. It's looking like the average is about an 8, maybe an 8.5, and that's fine. Like y'all liked it more. That is cool. DJ, what you got? It was a short episode, but wasn't bad. I agree with that. I wasn't blown away. It was still good. 6.5. I better not be disappointed in the last episode. But let me tell you something. Thank you for that. I totally agree with you. The last episode is definitely got to deliver, in my opinion. I still like this series overall. I had said before that this series does need a strong 2 episodes to end because unlike a lot, there have been a lot of MCU shows where we start to feel how the 6 episode thing is not enough. And uh, it's the 6th episode. They're gonna have to give us something great, and I don't know what that is. I think it's gonna have to be something hugely developmental for Nick Fury's character, and it's definitely got to be something that has a big impact for the ongoing MCU. Um, maybe a potential setup for the Marvels. But yeah, I don't know. What exactly are you hoping for, and what are you looking for in the season finale episode? Because I still think that if the last episode can give us, I don't know, a 9 or higher, now you can make Secret Invasion, in my opinion, a top 3 MCU show. I don't know if it could be top 2. I don't know if I can make it my favorite because I wanted this episode to be a little bit stronger. But I do think that it has the potential to be in the top 3 if they finish strong. If they don't finish strong, it's going to be like in top 4, top 5. I don't know. But I don't know. Any thoughts you guys might have, let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate it either way. Oh, I almost skipped one. Pierre, Marvel needs a continuity department. They have one. They do have one. It's called Kevin Feige. Like they literally have getaways and little powwow meetings where they talk about all this stuff. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But I don't know. This is gonna be something interesting to look at, but we're gonna have to see where this goes and how this ends up, at that point. So all right, guys, so of course we will cover this next Wednesday night, same time, same place. Just a heads up for some of y'all who are going to be joining for the live chat. There will not be a live chat on Friday. Unfortunately, I do have to attend a funeral during that day, so I'm just not going to do nothing on Friday. So I'm going to reschedule it for Saturday instead. So the live chat will be on Saturday, probably in the early afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock p.m. Central time. So just be on the lookout for it. I'll post. If you're following me, I'll let y'all know. But Saturday is going to be the live chat, and then again next Wednesday, we will finish up and get this going. But anyway, y'all, I want to thank y'all so much for taking the time to be here. Y'all already know I always appreciate it. You already know the deal. Go ahead and wash your hands, wash your butts. Have a good rest of the week. Oh, hold on. We got one last minute one. You came in the cut. Okay. You came through. DJ, what you got? I wanted to set up the Dark Reign. Have a quick big cameo or two. It needs to be straight fire, or let Gaia bring in the dragon and Dracarys everybody. I'll be cool with that. Yeah, listen, I'll be fine with all of that too. Given the fact that they spent $200 something million on the budget, maybe they're gonna sneak somebody in there, maybe. But that will be interesting to see how they do it and what they do at the end. But thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you, brother. But all right, guys, that's it. Be safe. Have a great rest of the week. I will see y'all Saturday and or Wednesday. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.